DeVillier. We have Mr. DeVillier, who is with his attorney, Mr. Could you get that door? Thank you. We have Mr. DeVillier, who is present with his attorney, Mr. Ryan Matuska. Prior to the court going into taking a short recess, Mr. DeVillier was given an opportunity to converse with his attorney regarding state's exhibit, regarding the trial court misdemeanor or the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. And I have before me the document, trial court's certification of defendant's right of appeal. Mr. DeVillier acknowledged that his signature was above the line as titled defendant. And the first box check states that this is a plea bargaining case and the defendant has no right of appeal. Mr. DeVillier, do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I do.
And the second box states that you have waived your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. DeVillier, you should have a document out there that is titled the Discovery Certification. Did you sign a document that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing all of these documents that I just mentioned, the ones that's on the tablet and the one that's on the paper before you, did your attorney go over those the documents with you?
He did properly.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer state's exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Matuska?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, no objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Now, Mr. Matuska, you advised in counsel, Mr. DeVillier, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir, Your Honor.
And Mr. DeVillier, your attorney, Mr. Matuska, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. DeVillier, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's reached an agreement with the defense in this case. The terms of that agreement were 90 days jail to be probated for 18 months, 40 hours community service, a fine of $750. And there was no restitution, Your Honor, in this case.
Okay. Now, do you give me a copy of his affidavit again, just if he has one? I think it is with the judge's magistrate or the magistrate's order. Mr. DeVillier,
Yes, sir.
the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you will be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs, and the fine and court costs comes to a total of $1,092. You will also be required, the fine and court costs will come to a total of $1,092. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month and a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Now, Mr. DeVillier, the total amount that you would have to pay per month in monthly installments is $140 a month. Mr. DeVillier, would you be able to pay the $140 per month?
To my knowledge, I'm not sure. I'm homeless and I need a way to get a job.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, now let me do this. I have before me a affidavit of indigency that was filled out on June the 5th by you. And now in this affidavit, it states that first of all, you're unemployed, you do not have any income, and you do not have any bills. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, on this document, it states that you reside with a family member. That's circled. It says reside with family member, and it was circled yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, is everything on this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. So, Mr. DeVilliers, the court is going to find that you are indigent, and because the court is making a finding of indigency, the fine and court costs of $1,092 is going to be converted to community service. And let's see, that's 1,092. So your fine and court costs is going to be converted to 87 hours of community service. And
Yes, sir.
your probation fee of $60 is going to be reduced to the minimum of $25. And now, Mr. DeVilliers, we have to recalculate. It's going to be recalculated. And so I'll just explain this to you again. Your probation, the state is offering 90 days on the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you were ordered, they offered that you pay a fine of $750 plus court costs, which came to a total of $1,092. And that $1,092 is going to be converted to community service. It's converted to 87 hours of community service. The probation fee, which was $60, is going to be reduced to the minimum of $25 each month. You'll still be required to pay a $15 a year analysis fee, and you will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service, the regular community service, in addition to the 87 that was converted from fine and court costs. And you would also have to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you understand the state's offering?
Yes, sir.
And also the conversions and adjustments that has been made by the court?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that is fair and just?
Yes, sir, it is.
And do you accept it?
Yes, sir, I accept.
Okay, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have made with the state with the finding that you are indigent, and your fine and court costs is converted to 87 hours of community service, and your probation fees is reduced to the minimum $25. You will also be required to pay a $15 a year analysis fee each month, and you have to perform the 40 hours of community service in addition to the 87 hours of community service, as well as adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Now, Mr. DeVilliers, this will conclude your case. They may have to get a fingerprint from you and your signature, and just follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. 4215 CC.
Judge,